What's up, guys? Welcome back to Maverick's Point of View. So, today, getting straight into it, it's another Sunday. It is currently 12:39, April 5th. So, I'm going to go over gold again. We're going to go on a quick snapshot. This is going to be pretty quick because basically we gave ourselves all we needed last week. So, as you guys see, going straight into it, we had some consolidation here. It didn't go perfect, but it was exactly what it was, right? Probably see it a little bit better on the 12 hour, but you're not gonna see exactly how I want to. So I'm gonna just keep this daily to keep it simple. This move didn't happen. Remember, I told you this was a weekly zone, weekly level, so we need to see a weekly move like this or a weekly move like this. What we got here, and I'll delete this now that it's no longer relevant for the moment. So I'll delete the consolidation. So we basically kind of got this move. Like I said, it probably looks a little bit better on the 12 hour, but we're kind of in limbo. That's what I really wanted to tell y'all right now. We're in limbo. We entered into a new month, so it was March, now it's April. Um, if we look at the month overall, all right, so we had a big red month, but it also failed the previous weekly zone. As you guys see, this is what I really wanted to show y'all. This is why multiple time frame analysis, using multiple time frames to really figure out where you're at in the market, is important. So we had this big weekly zone, right? As you see, last time they tried to get there, they didn't get there. This time they tried to break through, they did not break through. Look at this week. When you see, remember I said wicks, right? Wicks tell a story. When you see a doji is what they call this. I'm not getting into specific names of candles and stuff like that. Y'all can look that up on your own. What I want to point out is when you see a wick that hard and a movement that big, usually that's a big reversal tail sign, right? So usually that means not only you're going to get another major reversal next week, but that means who failed hard. Y'all know about zones and pockets now, right? You know, this is a battle for territory. Who failed to get further into territory in this instance, right? If this was a previous buyer zone and they were trying to break through and they couldn't break through, that means sellers failed. So sellers failed pretty strong over here. Buyers came through. We're like, we're not letting you get past this territory, right? Keeping it simple. So because they're not letting them get past the territory, we're now reversing back up. Now, I have this trend line here. I'm talking about credit. I'm sorry. I have this trend line here, right? And there we go. So now it's a weekly level. As you see, the reason why I say it's a weekly level is because look, the week failed off of it. It was previously a daily level here, right? At 54,110. That was previously a daily level that created a new pocket. If you guys want to see it a little bit more clear, I'll do it like this, right? So that's what we're looking at. This is a new seller's zone, right? I just didn't put the zone because if you look at the weekly, it's not gonna, you're not gonna see it, but it was still relevant. So the next day failed off of it, and that week failed off of it pretty hard. And then we got this large movement. So as you guys are kind of seeing, you can really trade one however you want, but two, you can really trade from both directions when you're properly looking at the charts, when you're looking at all the data, right? You could have taken this sell for these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really, right? Boom. Now, remember what I told y'all before in the previous videos, I don't like counter trend trading because I still feel like, obviously, overall, not just I feel, this is an uptrend overall. Like, if you're looking at it, massive uptrend, right? We're still in a massive uptrend. But trends, at the end of the day, trends are trends within trends. And when I say that, I know it sounds a little complicated to simplify it. It means even in an uptrend, you can have several trends throughout, right? We have consolidation, we have uptrend, we have downtrend. So consolidation is going to happen through the uptrend. Downtrends can happen through the uptrend. Ultimately, over the grand scheme of things, though, we're still in this ultimate uptrend, right? Since, once again, 2024. So most likely we'll continue. We hope to continue, right? We plan to continue. I shouldn't say hope. I don't like the hope word. We plan to continue. And we just have a good foundation for where we're at currently. So that's how we're going to look at the rest of the market, by knowing, okay, we're still in the uptrend overall for the last 2 years now, going on 2 years. And we want to keep that in mind as we're making our moves. We're drawing up our analysis. I'm kind of looking from where I want to explain this for you guys. I'll stay on the weekly for now. So long story short, we're still looking good for our uptrend. We're looking like we might reverse pretty hard and start going back up. This is another trend line. I've talked to you guys about trend lines. So we're going to start going back up to this trend line now. We're going to start going back up to this level here at 48, 42, and so on and so on, and try to start climbing back up to these highs. This trend line may stop it, right? Because the new trend, the downtrend was created. I will feel much better about telling y'all to buy after it gets on the other side of this trend line. I'll draw it in a second. However, we also have one problem to deal with first. This trend line here was the previous, pivot point from the consolidation, right? This was consolidation, the matrix movement. They're battling for territory right here, and I'll draw the bottom of the territory just so y'all can see it clearly. I want y'all to see everything I'm talking about clearly. All right. So this was previously our territory. We got over pretty quick and we got over pretty strong. We had a lot of movement, about 100,000 points. Now, let me move this over. Why does it keep moving over? The point I want to point out is I drew a trend line here, just like I drew it here. Now, we got below this trend line, which is why I say we're kind of looking at sells right now for the meantime, because we got below the current uptrends trend line, right? However, we had this major reversal. Then we took a pause point right here, right? So now let's zoom in a little bit more to it. So now we're right here. We're in like a interesting spot because what could happen, and now I'm going to draw, let me see the daily. Yeah, I'm going to draw it off of here now. What could happen is a reversal from this trend line. That's the point I want to make out to you guys. What could happen is that this just reverse and keep going back down and start going back down and the downtrend continue, right? Or it could keep going and just totally ignore it, right? With the week ending and not passing it, we're still in like the twilight zone. Like we don't really know who's got control right now. We see that buyers were favored down here, but they didn't really lock in any new territory yet, so we can't say that they've taken back over, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it super simple for you guys. Fix this trend line up a bit. And mind you, based on your broker, this trend line might look a little bit better. Like mine on my broker, this trend line looks way better. Like this literally looks like it failed even better off of the trend line, but whatever. We just have them there for general purposes, just so we know kind of what we're looking at. What I'll do is too, I'll totally just erase it. And this is what I'll do for you guys. Instead of leaving that trend line, I'm gonna make a new daily zone, right? Territory. So because this is where we stopped. This is where we stopped over or at the end of the week. This is where we're gonna pick back up. So I'm gonna say that we need to see these moves first before we make a move. Hold on. Let me also delete this one. It's going back and forth. We'll put this here because I had this on my other computer set up. Boom. All right, so now we're in the matrix here. Yeah, I like that a lot better for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at and why. The whole point of this is making it super simple for you guys to look at, like, period. So we can have this going on. Y'all are familiar with this. Y'all know how this works. All right, we got our zone. We got, like, our pocket, our consolidation pocket. Now, this is the interesting part because there's like all this whole little box is technically consolidation. So technically you could do it down here too. If that makes sense. Which it should, right? But what I want to just give y'all is the moves that you should look for, right? So this could also happen down here, and it could really just be this. Let me fix it again. All right. This could happen too. I just want y'all to like be super clear on it. It could happen here. It could happen up here. It could happen down here too. It could happen totally throughout this whole box between 48.41 and 43.96. That is a consolidation box right now. Like if I drew it, it would just look like this. This whole box is consolidation. Let's just call it simple, right? If you want to keep it super simple, stay out of playing in this box. Now, if you want to play in the box, that's on you. But I'm going to draw the moves accordingly. I'm going to put this back where it was. All right. So, anyway, remember, none of these moves are supposed to go perfect. They're supposed to give you a general direction of where everything is going and how everything may look. So, what I would like to see is this. Oh gosh. What I would like to see is this. That's the moves that I would like to see. That's what I'm probably going to be waiting for. And then this. That's what I would like to see. That's what I would like to wait for to make a real good move. Um, but it might not happen like that. This might also go up here too, by the way. So I'll just put it like that. That's what I would like to see. In order to really make a sell move, I would like to see get here first, or a buy move here, get here first. Once it gets past this, it's definitely going back up. So once this trend line, this new downtrend gets broken, basically, we pass their territory, which right now is this trend line. We're gonna go up and reach some newer highs, right? It might take a while to get there. It might not be quick. So I'm just giving y'all all the moves as I usually do. Once again, if you're confused about any of this at all, please go to the free mini course part of this channel so you guys can learn how to actually look at the charts, and why not? It's free. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got for y'all today. I wanted to make it super quick. I know it probably wasn't as quick, but I need to explain to y'all what I see in my head so that when you're looking at it, you can grasp what I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? You can pick up what I'm putting down. If you don't get it, you can't pick up what I'm putting down. You feel me? So anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. This has been Maverick's Point of View, and I don't have much else to say. So let's just see how this week is gonna go. Peace.